Relationships, those intricate tapestries of connection, love, and the occasional stubborn knot. If ever there was a dance both mesmerizing and frustrating, it is the waltz between the heart that seeks and the soul that shields. Now, let me take you on a journey, a thoughtful exploration of the avoidance world, their fortress of solitude, and the subtle, almost imperceptible steps they take when they long to reconnect. Yes, I said reconnect. Imagine it as a drawbridge, cautiously lowered, inch by inch, over the moat of their guarded hearts. We will uncover the signs, the reasons, and the delicate pathways of rekindling what once flickered, perhaps even reigniting it into something brighter. This is not a tale of false hope, but one of understanding and clarity, a narrative for the curious, the hopeful, and yes, the heartbroken. Picture, if you will, a castle. Majestic, yes, but imposing. High walls of stone, a cold moat circling its base. Within those walls lies a person who has mastered the art of self-reliance, their survival instincts shaped by years of needing to guard their tender vulnerabilities. They are not heartless, oh no. Their emotional currents run deep, but they flow beneath layers of caution, fear, and a desire to avoid the sting of rejection. For the dismissive avoidant, connection is a paradox. They crave love, yet fear its demands. They are drawn to the warmth of another's presence, but are overwhelmed by the risk of letting someone in. And so their signs of re-entry are like the whispers of the wind, subtle, fleeting, and easily missed if you aren't attuned to their rhythm. The dismissive avoidant does not announce their intentions with fanfare. Instead, they speak in the quiet language of proximity. Have they suddenly appeared on your social media feed, liking a post or viewing your stories? It's not a random act. It's their way of peeking over the castle walls, gauging the safety of your reaction. Now, tread carefully here. Their actions are often less about grand gestures and more about testing the waters. It's as if they're asking, can I approach without being scalded by the heat of your expectations? Consider also the casual message, the meme sent without much context, or the brief comment on a post. These are breadcrumbs, my dear friends, leading back to the possibility of connection. Yet don't mistake this for a full-fledged sprint toward reconciliation. These gestures are merely the prelude, the overture to a symphony that may or may not yet play. When the dismissive avoidant sends these subtle signals, how you respond shapes the next move. Respond with gentleness, and you may find them inching closer. Respond with intensity or urgency, and you risk watching them retreat into the shadows of their fortress. This, my friends, is not a chess game but a delicate balancing act, a tightrope walk between encouraging connection and respecting their pace. Should they ask to meet, be it for coffee or a casual catch-up, consider it a milestone. For the avoidant, such an invitation is not made lightly. It's their way of saying, I trust you enough to lower my defenses, if only a little. But take heed. This is where expectations must be tempered. Do not rush to ask the deeper questions, for their drawbridge is not yet fully lowered. Instead, meet them where they are, with curiosity and patience. Let us pause for a moment and reflect on what reconnection truly means. For some, it's the restoration of a relationship. For others, it's a bridge to closure, understanding, or simply companionship. The dismissive avoidant often approaches reconnection with a mix of hope and trepidation. They wonder if they are capable of meeting your needs, or if their return might stir more harm than harmony. Here lies the crux of the matter. Reconnection is not an instant cure, but a process, a mosaic pieced together with open communication, realistic boundaries, and a mutual willingness to grow. Ask yourselves this: what would a healthy, renewed relationship look like? How would you both handle conflicts differently? What steps will ensure that history does not repeat itself? The tales I could tell you of those who've walked this road. There was the executive who hid behind the accolades of his career, his loneliness masked by boardroom bravado. One day, he reached out to an old love, not with an eloquent declaration, but with a single, simple text. "I hope you're doing well." From that seed of reconnection grew a partnership marked not by perfection, but by progress. Then there was the artist who viewed love as a canvas of risks and rewards. Her avoidant ex appeared not with flowers, but with a book, her favorite, marked at a passage that once made her laugh. They began anew, not by rewriting the past, but by sketching a future built on honesty. Boundaries are not walls, they are gates through which respect flows. When reuniting with an avoidant, boundaries serve as a compass, guiding both parties toward mutual respect and understanding. What are your deal breakers? What are theirs? Without clarity, you risk losing yourselves in a fog of unmet expectations. It is also crucial to discuss the elephant in the room, the breakup itself. Address what worked, what didn't, and how you both can create a healthier dynamic. These conversations, though challenging, are the fertile ground from which trust and growth spring. And now, let us address the heart of the matter. Should you take them back? The question that haunts so many souls. The answer, I'm afraid, is as nuanced as the human heart itself. Reconnection, if done with intention and care, can be a beautiful thing, but it must not come at the expense of your well-being. The avoidance return is not a promise of happily ever after. It is an opportunity, a doorway through which you might both walk, hand in hand, towards something better. But if the journey leads you down a path of old wounds and unhealed scars, be brave enough to step away. For love, my friends, is not meant to be a chain but a shared freedom. As we conclude, let us return to the metaphor of the fortress. The dismissive avoidant lives within its walls, not out of malice, but out of fear. A fear that vulnerability will lead to rejection, that love will bring loss. Yet within every fortress lies a key, and that key is trust. If you find yourself standing outside their gates, consider this. Are you willing to offer trust, patience, and understanding? And more importantly, do they possess the courage to open the gates from within? The answers to these questions will guide your next steps. So, my dear listeners, go forth with wisdom and grace. Whether you choose to reconnect or walk away, let your actions be guided by clarity, courage, and compassion. And remember, the greatest love story you will ever write is the one you share with yourself.